This is just a little ugly spot up in Gold Creek that I told Kathy on our way back from mountain goat hunting Monday that I had to fly. I'm 80 years old, and when I first started going up into Rock Creek and Gold Creek, we did it in a 1954 Chevy station wagon. We didn't even have four-wheel drive until 1962. Now, this spot means nothing to anyone else, but over the years, I've stopped right where our truck is sitting now for a cup of coffee and maybe a sandwich, and sometimes just to enjoy being up in the mountains. This spot has always been bare, always been dry, and always wide open. It's never changed. I've never seen an animal here, but it's just a spot where I've stopped dozens and dozens and dozens of times over the years, usually when coming down from up high when hunting, although about as many trips were made up here in the summer. I've never walked down through any of it, but I had to fly it today, and I'm glad I did. I didn't plan on any of this being a very long video and didn't even hook up the sound microphones for the flight. I don't know about you, but there are a lot of places all over the hills, west of Naches and Yakima, where I have spots like this, where I stop simply because over all these years, they have become special, sometimes ugly little spots to me. When Kathy and I are roaming around up in the hills, I'm constantly telling her about a special corner or special hillside or special canyon. And it's just bringing back memories for me, although it probably drive her crazy with all the commentary. I'll probably include some voiceover in the rest of this video, so thank you. All right, you can see in the lower right-hand corner there, that's the screenshot that I see on the recorder when it takes off. I'm just getting up to the area. You have to go up to a certain height to get home point established so it knows where to come back to. I swung it around. There's the two old coots in the Toyota wandering around up here in the hills. We'll go up and get a little altitude adjusted here, and then we'll swing back around and see this goofy open hillside where I just seem to like to stop, and probably never, hardly ever do go by here without stopping. It's just where I've always stopped and had a cup of coffee or a sandwich or something and look over the country. This thing has always been bare. It's always been dry like this. The only difference now and 50 years ago is there's a couple of trees out in the middle that are a little bit taller than they used to be. I don't know why anything doesn't grow out there. I got a feeling there's a pretty hefty layer of rock underneath that. Some of this country up here is really heavily layers of rocks, and maybe that's why nothing grows here. But about all you can see from the top is that down to just beyond that little dead tree down there on the right side of the opening. But the good thing is today we're gonna hike down through here and take a look at the rest of it. It's kind of neat. You can gain a little altitude and see a whole lot of country. I've never hiked down anywhere through this open spot, so I didn't realize what was down here or how it related to a road, because I've never hiked it, I've never hunted it. But the reality is, from the road where we're parked up there down to where that same road swings back around below this open strip heading back out towards the highway, it's not very far. If you look close now, you can see there in the left-hand corner, you can see the road where it swings around. Pretty soon you'll see more of it, but it is closer than what I thought and laid out a little different than what I thought, because I never really associated the layout of the land with the road, because it was nothing I ever wanted to hunt. But we'll see a little more open country down here. It's kind of like that strip up above, but it swings around, and then we get back into some decent tree coverage. Now we'll move out here off the end of this bare spot, and then you can see the road down there, and now it becomes a little more visible. But like I say, it wasn't far down to that road. I just never put two and two together because it didn't interest me, but it's not really that far. That road going ahead of us there up towards the top of the screen goes out and makes a loop or two and swings back around the ridge and right back up to where the truck is sitting. We'll swing the camera up here and you'll be able to see some country a little farther away. That's looking down into the area all around the Jefferson Ranch up by Gold Creek. There you can see that road winding around down through there. We'll pull up here. If you look over there it's in the upper left now, there's a little high spot on that ridge above a rock cliff. If you watched the video a while back of where I said I shot a deer and it went off over a cliff, it's just the other side of that high spot there, and to the left of it is the saddle I talked about in that video. Get in and get a little closer view, but that's the ridge I used to hunt down and stayed on top of the ridge. If you see all the cliffs, that whole hillside on this side of the ridge is kind of like that. So that's why I always went down the top instead of the right-hand side, because you can get into some places down here on that face of that where it's not really very friendly. Then this just swings back up towards the upper part of Gold Creek. That ridge way up back there in the background, kind of a gray looking thing, that's around Rocky Saddle and stuff. That's the north side of the drainage over on Milk Creek area. We're in Gold Creek, and over there is Milk Lake. This is just me looking around at the lower end of this open stuff that I never have seen before, but from a different angle. And we're coming back up through where we went down a while ago. The road is up there. You can just start to see it up above, and the truck is in the upper part of the there. You can just now see the truck. I don't think this thing will ever have a lot of trees on it for some reason. It's just forever going to be bare and dry and kind of ugly in the middle of all this forest. Because this was not a planned long distance flight or anything, or long in time length, why we didn't get out or anything. We just kind of sat in the truck. The signal was great. It works good. We can see the drone good. And it was comfy just sitting in the suspension seats in there. We'll go a ways back up the road from where the truck is sitting just to see what it's like. Everything looks kind of dry up here now. Boy, in the spring, early in the spring, everything's nice and green, but it doesn't take long with the hot weather and all of that undergrowth, and the grass and stuff starts turning brown, and that's when the fires can really hit it. Now, this is just looking back down towards where we were parked, and It looks like it's a long ways away, but it's actually not. The main camera, the one I'm using now for all of this, is 24 millimeter Hasselblad. It's one of the three cameras on the drone, and it's a wide angle, so it's kind of deceptive at times. It's a little closer than what it looks like. See that tree right there we're just now going over the top of? We'll be back there in a minute and play with that. This is just looking around some of the country. Just there was reindeer over on the side. If you watch the one about earlier in the day when we were up looking for goats, you can see reindeer still got a little bit of that halo around the top, but not quite as much. Over there is Little Bald. Swing around over, you can see the upper end of Bethel Ridge, Timberwolf over there. And then back around here into that spot I talked about earlier. That's that little high spot over there where we flew on the other side of. And there's the ridge on the north side of Milk Lake drainage again. I don't edit out hardly anything on these flights so far because, yeah, some of it might be a repeat of something we saw 5 minutes ago, but to me it's all interesting and it's all country that's really special, so I just leave most of it in. You can see the landing pad there in front of the truck. I prefer to use the pad instead of hand launch, hand catch, because I like to keep all 10 fingers, and I don't like landing on the ground. So the pad protects the drone from dust and rocks when it lands and keeps it clean. One thing I had noticed, and I think right along in here somewhere I kind of thought about it. I was thinking about calling it quits for this one, but there's a little hillside here on the left I wanted to kind of look at, so we'll swing up and you'll see it go up and to the right. There's like a little small ridge right there that I didn't know was like that. And now I'm curious as to what's on the other side of that, but not today. It's a little bit hazy out through there for the long distance stuff. I don't know if there's a little bit of fire stuff going on or not. But now there's that tree I said we were going to come back to. That's one of the things I forget about when I'm flying. I get so engrossed in flying for what's interesting to me and forget about the cinematic part. But there you get a reveal of reindeer. We'll go between these two trees, and you get a difference in speed between the up close trees and the far away stuff, and it just makes it kind of interesting. But sometimes I forget about the cinematic interesting stuff because it's not as interesting to me as seeing the country. But when I swung around here, I knew this pine tree was going to be in the way, so we'll just kind of pop her to the side. Kind of like the way that movement looks when you're up close to those trees. There you see in the bottom of the right hand part of the screen, that's what I see. We'll punch the button for a return to home. And the return is all automatic. That green line is the augmented reality, it shows the path the drone is coming back, and then the lower left, it's an attitude indicator, and it shows where I'm at, shows the drone in the middle, and it shows the attitude of the drone. When it comes back like that, you always see it rotate, because it'll rotate back to the exact angle and go back to the exact position where it took off from. And if you look in the lower right, you'll see the little, I think of it like Mickey Mouse. That's the indicator that the drone puts on the screen and shows where it's coming down to, and you can tell if it's going to land where you want it to or not. And again, I guess this was a successful flight because we walked away from it. Nobody got hurt.